It's summertime in Portugal, which means it's time to hit the best beaches. If you want to find the 3 best beaches in Lagos, let's go! Hi, and welcome back to Roam Away From Home. I'm Taylor, and today we're going to talk all about the Lagos beaches. My husband and I have been living here for about a year, and this is our first summer in Lagos. Lagos, Portugal is located in the Algarve, which is the southern region of Portugal. It follows the south coastline, and it is beautiful here. We absolutely love living in Lagos, and a lot of times when you're researching what to do here as a visitor, you get a lot of recommendations outside of town. So beaches in Sagres, Portimão, Faro, other places outside of Lagos that are still in the Algarve. You do not need to travel outside of Lagos to have an amazing beach experience. There's even a lot of variety just within town. So if you're coming to Lagos and you want to go to our 3 favorite beaches, here they are. Before we get into the details of the beaches, the word for beach in Portugal is praia. It kind of sounds like playa in Spanish, but it's spelled P-R-A-I-A, praia. So anytime you see that word, anytime you hear that word, someone's talking about a beach. My 3rd favorite beach in Lagos, Portugal is Praia Dona Ana. This is a cliffside beach that is great for people staying on the southwest side of Lagos. There are a few hotels and a couple cafes at the top of the beach of Praia Dona Ana. So it's very common in Portugal where it's a cliffside beach, so you're dining and stuff like that, hotels where you would stay are at the top, and then you walk down a lot of staircases to get to the actual beach. That's very normal here. It also means that not all beaches are accessible for all visitors. This is one of those that has a very long staircase, so if you can't do stairs, this is not the beach for you. At the top, there are some beautiful viewpoints though along the way. You can walk along the cliffs, you can see all these lookout points, look at the boats coming in and out, look at the beachgoers. It really is beautiful just for the views. Once you get to the beach, you'll take the stairs down and there is a concession right at the beach. It's a smaller beach, so it gets a little bit crowded, and that concession also gets crowded. When we've been there, it's been fully packed every time. Even though there are signs that say don't sit underneath the cliffs, many people do here. It's pretty common to see because it is the only shade available. My favorite thing about this beach is actually the viewpoints from above, but once you get to the beach, it's also really cool to walk out into the ocean and turn around and just look at the views. You can see cliffs in all angles, all directions, and it's one of those beaches where it's like, wow, Portuguese beaches are amazing. The sand at this beach gets really hot, so I recommend bringing some type of shoe that you feel comfortable wearing in the water so that you can wear them as you go up to the waterline, especially if where you're kind of laying is a little bit further away from the water. Or you just have to kind of like sprint to the ocean before you burn your feet because the sand really does get hot. It's something that I wasn't used to coming from California. I feel like the sand never gets too hot for me to walk in, but here it absolutely does. If you are going to Praia Dona Ana, I do recommend packing some food and drinks for yourself that you can enjoy at the beach, just because there's more limited concessions here and the concessions are kind of busy. So bring your own stuff, have a beach day, enjoy it. We've actually heard a couple beautiful love stories that started at Praia Dona Ana, so if you're looking for a nice little summer fling in Portugal, maybe this is the beach for you. My 2nd favorite beach, and the beach that we spend the most time at, is Meia Praia. This is a long sandy beach. I mean, the coastline goes on and on and on. We have walked as far as we have ever wanted to walk on a beach, and we still haven't reached the end of it. So this is a great place to go if you want to just have a sandy beach experience with calm waves. It is not a cliffside beach, but you can see views of other cliffside beaches from Meia Praia. Meia Praia is very family friendly because it's accessible from many points within Lagos. Meia Praia has this huge boardwalk. I think it's 4 kilometers long. I'm going to double check and put the correct information in here, but it's very common to start on one end of the boardwalk and you just walk until you find an area that you want to go to. If you're on the marina side of Lagos, the closest entry point is about a third of the way into the boardwalk from like town to the farthest part of the boardwalk away from town. There are plenty of restaurants on the beach bars. and each one has a different vibe. So someday we're gonna do a beach bar crawl and we're gonna hit every single one, and we'll do a whole YouTube on that too, as long as we can remember what we're doing. The good thing about this is you can go to Meia Praia and not bring anything with you if you don't want to. There are umbrellas, cabanas for rent, and there are so many restaurants that you can get food. There are also a couple of vendors walking around selling bolos de Berlim, which are like little donuts and they have cream and filling in them. So that's a common Portuguese beach snack too. What's also really cool about this beach is that it's super accessible, making it good for families or people with limited mobility. You can easily walk there from town. You can also take the train, the main train that goes between Lagos and Faro. It has a stop at Meia Praia. You can also take the little choo-choo train that you'll see going through town during peak season. If you go during peak season, so during the summers, you will see that the different beach restaurants have umbrellas and cabanas already set up. These you pay to rent. And if you are going on your own, bringing your own umbrella, something like that, you can't set up camp in front of those paid for umbrellas. So basically, if you're paying for an umbrella, you get an unobstructed view of the ocean. And that means as a beachgoer, if you're bringing your own umbrella or shade structure, you're going to want to go to the right or left of these concessions. What's really cool is that during peak season, they have some added things to keep the beach nice and clean and keep it accessible for everyone. They have sand wheelchairs available. They have these little rolling playgrounds. So it's like slides and stuff with these big fat beach tires that you can also rent and borrow for your kids. They also have on the sand, they have some boardwalks that connect the different concessions. So if you're in a wheelchair or something, you can actually wheel from the boardwalk, the main walking boardwalk, down to the beach and go to an umbrella. So it's very accessible, unlike a lot of the cliffside beaches. Because it is not cliffside, it is a long sandy beach. That means there's no shade. So you'll want to bring your own umbrellas or probably rent one to stay out of the sun. At the very end of the boardwalk, farthest away from the Old Town Lagos, is a naturist beach. So if you're wanting to have a nude beach experience, that's where you would go for that. Our favorite beachside bar here is at the very end of the boardwalk. It's called Porto do Sol, and it's just before you go to that naturist beach. It also has a parking lot. Another thing about Meia Praia is you can access it by car. So you can access it by car, by bicycle, by foot, by train. It is super easy to get to, and that's what makes it our #2 beach. The waves at Meia Praia are very calm, making it extremely family friendly, and they also do have lifeguards during peak season. During the wintertime and off season, it's more likely that you can surf at Meia Praia, and depending on the weather, sometimes you can catch a couple waves there, but during peak season, it tends to be a lot more calm waters. My favorite and #1 beach in Lagos, Portugal is Praia da Batata. It is one of those cliffside beaches. It's super easy to access, really close to the heart of Lagos, and it is beautiful. When I first moved here, I went there immediately and I was like, we made it, we're finally in Portugal. And yes, we chose the right place to live. It is just breathtaking. My favorite thing about it is that there are tunnels you can walk through underneath the cliffs, and it connects 3 different beaches. So it's basically Praia da Batata all the way to Praia dos Estudantes, which is Potato Beach and Students Beach. It really is super beautiful. It is more accessible than Praia Dona Ana because you can access it without taking stairs. If you go through this kind of smaller beach where they have kayak rentals just below the fort. So Praia da Batata is located right next to Forte de Ponta de Bandeira, which is the historic fort of Lagos. So it's really cool because as you're walking to the beach, you can also see the historic buildings around Lagos. We'll go into that in future videos as well. But you can access it if you go to the fort and you just kind of stay low to the ground, you stay closer to the ocean, you can access the beach without taking any stairs. Otherwise, you can walk up the hill away from the fort, and there are several different staircases that you can enter the beach. We love this beach because it's so close to everything. So you can eat beforehand as they're getting hot, walking around Old Town Lagos. You can just head to the beach right after, jump in. All the water is pretty cold in Lagos, Portugal. So if you're thinking it's gonna be like the med kind of temperature water, it's not. It is a little bit colder, so it's a perfect way to relax. There's also a lot of different lookout points. So if you're walking up the hill away from the fort, you can have different lookout points overlooking the beach, which is kind of cool to see, an aerial view as well as the down below view of the cliffs. I highly recommend taking the walk through the different beach tunnels. Make sure that you stay safe and that it's low tide, because during high tide, the last tunnel can get a little bit tricky. I have definitely fallen there before. The very end of the connected beaches through the tunnels has this historic bridge that makes for a beautiful photo opportunity. So even if you're not going to the beach, even if you're here during off season, it's a little bit cooler, I still recommend going to Praia da Batata and then walking along and going through the tunnels. It is breathtaking. We took Mike's mom here when she visited us after living here for about a month, and it was just like, it's mind-blowing, truly. It's just so beautiful. They don't have concessions on the beach throughout the entire year, but they do typically have them during peak season. They also sometimes have a boardwalk that makes it more accessible for people with limited mobility. Sometimes they don't. So it just depends on the time of year you go. But there are tons of restaurants nearby, so you can always get anything you need by just heading to the restaurants just outside of the beach. One of my friends that lives here, one of her favorite things to do in the summer is to go have lunch in Old Town, and then once it gets kind of hot, to head down to Praia da Batata, cool off, and then head home. It's like the perfect Portuguese summer day. Praia da Batata is my #1 do not miss if you come to Lagos. I have met people who come here for like a week and they only go to Meia Praia, they never go to these cliffside beaches, and it blows my mind because this is like why we wanted to live in Portugal. They are one of the most rare, beautiful, striking landscapes that you'll find in the world. And we can say that because we've been to beaches around the entire world. If you are coming to Lagos and you want to have a good beach day, we do recommend bringing some beach necessities like your own water, your own snacks, and umbrella for shade structure. A lot of places near the beaches will sell umbrellas at a marked up price. So if you want to find some affordable beach toys and games, it is very common here to go to what is called China shops. You'll see these China shops as you're walking through. This is not a concept that we really have in the US, so it's something that was new to me. People either will refer to these shops as China shops or hypers, and ours that we go to the most is called Hyper China with an I, Hyper China Lagos. So if you're going and looking for some last minute supplies once you actually get to Lagos, those are the places that they're going to be the most affordable. And the best review on Google that I saw of a China shop that describes what is available there is everything you need and everything you don't need can be found here. That is a good description of a China shop. And truly, you can find just about everything. It's where we get things like extension cords, bath mats, like random little things that you need are at these shops. So if you're looking to get like umbrella, beach toys, some beach games, stuff like that, those are going to be the best places to go where you can get everything in one place for an affordable price. Or if you don't care at all, there are some shops that are usually located really close to the beach that sell umbrellas and stuff like that. Although most of Lagos is very dog friendly, during peak season, dogs are not allowed at most beaches. It's a heads up in case you're staying here with your dog. We have 2 dogs. Off season, we bring them to the beach. Peak season, not so much. It's really hot in the sand anyway, so it's for the best, to be honest. If you're coming from the US or another more conservative country, then you might be shocked to see a few topless people at the beach. People are topless at the beach regardless of gender or age. So instead of gawking at people, just know it's a normal way of life. One thing you should not do is take pictures of topless people at the beach. I have seen it happen. It's uncomfortable for everyone involved. It is just a normal part of life here, so have fun and maybe just join along instead. Portuguese beaches are just superb. They are truly amazing, and we feel so grateful to be living here and being able to go to the beach every single day. If you've been to any of those beaches, let us know in the comments because these are my 3 favorites, but there are way more. Again, if you're looking for a beach that's really close to you or something that's different and not on our list, search on Google Maps Praia. That's the word you want to find all the beaches close to you. There are so many in the Algarve that we've lived here for a year and we haven't even gone to all of them in Lagos yet. I hope you get to experience the beautiful beaches of Lagos, and if you are coming here for a trip, a vacation, or considering to move here, drop in the comments what you want to see. We absolutely love this town, and when we are researching for ourselves things to do here, so many people recommend leaving Lagos to do something, but there's enough here that you can live here, stay here, travel here, and never leave this town of Lagos and still have an amazing time full of different activities. So what do you want to see about Lagos, Portugal? And we are happy to share it. Make sure to subscribe if you want to see more highlights of life in Portugal, as well as the best music events around the world. We absolutely absolutely love living here, and we want other people to have just as much fun as we do on a day-to-day basis. So go ahead and subscribe if you want more Portugal tips or live music tips. Bye! I'm hot now. I need to go to the beach for real. Woohoo!